following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the adventure on Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Here's your host, the Pipeman. Here on the Adventures Pipeman, W4CY Radio, W4CY.com. It is Travel Tuesday, but I'm also having a flashback of Tasty Tuesdays because right before I picked up the mic to talk to you, I was wolfing down my lunch on some tasty lunch. So now we're going to bring on some tasty pipe nuts.
That was a weird way of putting it.
I know, right? Okay. Studio nut, what would make
so
you
what was
tasty?
for lunch?
Wait, let me finish my questions first, Rebel. Wait your turn. Okay. It was some chicken margarita dish.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, so Studio Nut, answer the question.
What was the question?
What makes you tasty?
What makes me tasty?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I know what makes me salty. I don't know what makes me tasty.
All right, I like that. What makes you salty?
The sweat.
Do you like lick your sweat or something?
No, but it's known that sweat is salty.
Okay, Rebel. What makes
All
you
the
tasty?
Cajun seasonings that we use here in Louisiana.
Do you use them on your hoo-ha too?
No, I wouldn't put it there.
I don't know. I'm just wondering if Cajun.
It sounds like she knows what happens if you put it there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Would you want to put cayenne pepper places?
Well,
I
I'm not from Louisiana. You guys like it spicy like that, so I don't know. I don't know if like it's a Cajun hoo-ha or something.
Well, first of all, you need to eat it. You know, if you had meat, you would inject it places. Well, you don't do that to people, so you eat it
Unless you're
and
Lady
it makes
Gaga.
your whole, and well, whatever. But when you ingest it by eating it, it makes your whole body flavor and ooh, yummy.
There you go.
So that would involve licking the sweat.
I knew
Definitely.
it. She is putting Cajun spices on her hoo-ha. Okay.
You do not put it on.
Indirectly.
You put it
Indirectly.
in.
In.
What about on your your ripples?
No.
Okay.
You wouldn't do that. That's for whipped cream and peanut butter sauce.
Okay.
Put the
Now
cherry
you
on
made
top.
me want to ask a trivia question. Thank you, Rebel.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Let's see if you can answer it since you brought it up. What famous punk rocker used to have very, very big, tatas or whatever you want to call them. And
Tater tots?
she used to be like Jim Morrison because she'd get arrested because she would put shaving cream or whipped cream on her tatas or tater tots. And I don't know, I think tater tots are more like if you're licking somebody that has potato ear. That's a tater tot.
Potato ear?
Yeah, you don't know what a potato ear is?
No.
No,
No.
never
Okay.
heard of a cauliflower ear.
Yeah, cauliflower ear.
Yeah. So a cauliflower ear is similar to a potato ear, okay? But you can't make tater tots with a cauliflower ear. Well, never mind. Nowadays,
You can make rice out of cauliflower, so who
you
knows?
can make. No, they do make cauliflower tater tots. Okay, and part of what I ate, which because I was helping a client and I didn't pay attention and I burned half of it, was a cauliflower pizza for lunch. So that was my tasty Tuesday. But okay, so health nut. Okay,
Hello.
what makes you tasty?
Well, if we're talking regional foods, I guess maple syrup, cheese curds.
So
Oh, no,
I have to
maybe
tell
that's not
you,
good, but cheese.
I have to tell you,
What?
since COVID, I've been following this Canadian on TikTok, and her name on TikTok is Maple Mandy.
Nice.
And there are some things on her TikTok that you would have to find that are very tasty about her maple.
Okay.
So check it out. Like she's representing
Maple Mandy.
your country.
Okay, so I don't have the TikTok, so how? Yeah, I have to.
That's
I can't watch things on there anymore, and they changed that.
Oh, there's no TikTok in your country?
Well, there is. You just have to have an account.
Oh.
Well, anyways, okay, we know I get the idea though.
Do you? Have you ever
I
done
mean-
that? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's something evocative with maple syrup. Yeah, sure. Like let the imagination roll.
All right. Well,
Because that's not going to burn.
what
You know,
you've
that's just
done.
sweet and tasty.
Okay, tell us what you've done with maple syrup then. I want to know.
What?
Tell us what you've done with maple syrup. Rebel
Eat it.
told
You
us
eat
what
it.
she's done with
You eat it.
Cajun stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, you eat it.
No, not just
Makes you
eating it.
sweet.
Everybody eats it. What have you done that's like that maybe is like Maple Mandy?
No one compares to maple mandy. I think. Yeah.
I know
Okay.
what she could do with
I
it.
don't
I
know.
know. Oh, can I
What?
answer that question for her?
Yeah, of course
Actually,
Rebel
mhm.
knows. Of course she would know.
I'm totally looking it up. Yeah, we're
She's
not
never
doing it.
been to even
God.
Canada, and she
Well, let
knows.
me tell you what you
Okay.
can do. It's
What?
International Waffle Day. You can put it on a waffle.
Oh. Hey, you know what I was thinking?
Which upsets
Actually,
me.
What's
But go
that?
ahead. You go
Well,
first.
yeah, okay, real quick, because we have this thing in the wintertime festival. Maple syrup's part of it. We have this cabane à sucre, and it's like the sugar cabin, I guess. But you would have snow and maple syrup, and you roll it on a stick, and it becomes like a hard gummy
Oh, that would
you know,
be good, actually.
thing. Yeah. So that's what I would do with the maple syrup. And then you can have the stick to play around
and
with
that
however you like. Lick it.
that you're gonna
stick
take
it.
that and put it in your butthole.
Yeah, if you want to. It's like probably would be extra lubricating. Oh, I don't know,
Okay.
Pipe Man. You're gonna have to let us know how your
What-
adventures go.
But my question is, would you put it in your butthole before or after you warmed it up? Like, do you do the butt sunning with the maple syrup in the butthole?
Well, I don't know. It's easier to like manipulate when it's a little harder, you know? It's not just runny.
That's what she
And then-
said.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then once it's in there, you can let it like
But-
soften and
folks, this is what
isn't it like
international
sticky? Like that would
travel
cause a lot
is
of friction, wouldn't it?
well, I mean, I don't know. I
So
don't know the
now
ins
we
and outs.
kind of know what they do with maple syrup in Canada. What do they do with agave in Mexico, Juan?
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
want to know.
I had some agave today, by the way. So, but I don't think it had anything to do with what we're talking about.
No.
But I want to hear all the. We already heard the international information from Louisiana over there because they are in another world, and we already heard Canada. I want to hear about Mexico, what they do with agave in Tijuana with the donkeys.
Well, I'm not from Tijuana, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, then you're off.
Yeah,
the
is there
hook.
like an Alice Agave or something? Like on TikTok?
No, but
We
You
can look it
know-
up.
You know-
Let's not.
what really bothers me is I grew up with Aunt Jemima, and she was my favorite aunt, and now she's been canceled.
I know, right?
Like, what's
It's just
wrong
not
with
the
this
same.
world when you're canceling Aunt Jemima, man?
She
Did
was
they
my
cancel?
favorite aunt.
Did they cancel Aunt Jemima in Canada?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's terrible.
Stockpile the last of the Aunt Jemimas, and you're good to go. But like, yeah, that's a childhood staple classic. But I think that there's a lot of sugar in there, and I prefer like real
Yeah,
heavy grade A
it's
maple
probably
syrup.
all sugar,
Yeah,
and if you read the
just
label, it
like
probably
different.
says maple flavoring. That's the United States.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
the actual things. It's
It's a
always
grape drink.
flavoring. Okay.
Yeah, I love when it's like very healthy. Like ingredients will say something like natural flavors.
Do you know what natural
Yeah.
flavors is? Because I was about to talk about that, and
It's very healthy for you. That's why
do you know
they
what it
mention it in
actually
there.
is? So when I was younger, they were putting MSG and everything. In fact, you used to buy MSG as a spice. It was called
Yeah.
You
It was
can still
called
do that.
Accent. And I would like use it all the time. This was a staple like you would use to cook everything. And then they outlawed MSG because they found out that it's killing us. So now there's still MSG in everything. They're just allowed to call it natural flavoring. That's what natural flavoring is really. It's now MSG because MSG is not allowed to be in food. So, but they're allowed to change the name, then it's okay because
But
it's
they sell
Yeah,
it in
it
the
is.
store.
It is a flavor enhancer. That's what it's like.
That's what it said
used
on the
for.
accent thing, flavor
Yeah.
enhancer.
Yeah.
That's why I used it. I'm like, ooh, it's gonna make it taste better.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
but
speaking travel wise, MSG is used in a lot of places. It's just like a little scoop at the buffet. You're like, oh, a little dash of MSG.
Yeah,
Why
see?
not?
Okay, so Rebel, what did you say before? Because now that's why I wanted to interrupt Health Nut here, but I couldn't. And what I was going to do a trivia question. So what did you say that I was going to say ask you a trivia question? Because now I forgot what the trivia question is.
I
it was
couldn't really
about
tell you
tater
because I
tots.
can't read your mind.
Oh yeah, tater tots,
About
potato
the
ear.
tatas
That's
with
how it got.
the whipped cream.
No.
Punk rock
No.
something.
Oh yeah. That's what it was. Okay. Juan, that was great. Okay. All you had to say was punk rock, and I knew what you were talking about. All right. So yeah, basically, she would put this stuff on her breasts, and she was kind of like Jim Morrison, where Jim Morrison would get arrested for indecent exposure all the time. So she used to get arrested all the time too because she put it on there knowing that she would stand right below the lights. And during the show, at one point, the lights melted it off. So all that was showing was her breasts. Who is that famous punk rock star?
I don't know,
Does
but
anybody know?
other people might know.
I'll give you another hint.
Not coming.
She, at one point, was in a relationship with Lemmy. She also had a video where she was standing on a school bus as it exploded. Boy, you guys are terrible. And Nicole,
Don't remember the names.
Nicole, I
I'm
don't
bad
think
with
you're
the
going to be
names.
able. I don't think you're going to be able to cover
Uh,
any festivals anymore because you don't even know who the people are.
Okay.
Jeez.
Make a little picture book for me.
Okay, so I'll give you a little hint. Okay, years ago in Jersey, they used to have this thing that a radio station did. We got to think of doing something like this too, where they had the whole state of New Jersey on Wednesdays. It was called, like, you think, what the fuck, Wednesday's bad? This was Whip It Out Wednesday. Okay.
I like
And
it.
so,
Is this for free beats or?
no beats at all. It was if you were driving down the Garden State Parkway or the New Jersey Turnpike anywhere in the state, people would hold up signs that said WOW, and the female in the car next to you, or however many females, would all lift their shirts and whip them out for you. And like, so when it was great when it was summertime and everybody was sitting Like summertime on the weekends, everybody goes to the Jersey Shore from North Jersey. So the Garden State Parkway is like a parking lot. It takes you like 4 hours to get to the Jersey Shore. The state isn't even 4 hours long, okay, at its longest point. And so it would be great when it would have traffic like that, and it was Wednesday, and you're just sitting in traffic. I remember I was sitting in traffic going to a Devils game, and I think I saw more breasts that night than any other time in my history of my life combined.
Was this during the era of dial-up internet?
I don't think there was any internet, actually, to be honest. It was
Makes
a lot of things Gen X did. There's no proof. There's no record. You people are idiots recording everything you're doing.
People nowadays will post their crime on social media.
It is the funniest
As
shit
it's
ever.
happening. Putting location and everything.
Okay, wait a minute. I knew somebody who had a show on the station many years ago, had a lawsuit for an accident that did damage to the back, won the lawsuit, $1 million. After winning the lawsuit, before getting paid, they scoured this person's Facebook because the number one evidence used in crimes today is social media because people are stupid. So there were things on that Facebook that showed that there was nothing wrong with this person's back. Ergo, they overturned the award before this person got it.
Dang.
That might be why this person doesn't have a show anymore. So that isn't the reason why, but
that sucks.
You know. So anyway, yeah. I mean, so I just gave you another hint because you would know this person by the initials, which are the same as Whip It Out Wednesday. WOW. Now,
So
do you
Okay,
know?
I have to ask this question.
Okay, wait. The youngest is close. Okay, go ahead, Juan.
Wendy O. Williams.
Look at that. He was Googling while I was talking.
I see.
Well.
It's all coming around.
But yeah, see, the youngest got the information quickest. See?
That's because he looked it up.
Info at the fingertips.
I'm not
Anyway.
saying that he didn't deny it. I was trying to I was just saying it. I didn't see him actually look it up. I just knew well enough that he did. But at least he was smart enough to look it up.
I didn't feel the need.
I researched it as soon as you
Google
said.
told me.
I was researching it as you were explaining the whipped cream thing.
Hey, you know what
Anyway.
you should do? There's a video with her on top of the school bus, like I said. See if you can pull up that video just briefly. So
While he does that, can I ask a question? You
you
talk
can
about the
ask
Louisiana.
one. I don't know if you can access one.
All
like,
right.
we use an axe to ask questions.
You a question, sir.
Yes.
All right. You said WOW, right? Whip
Yes.
it out. And you talk about the Louisiana education. Last I checked, out starts with an O, not an
Okay,
I.
last time you went to grammar school, didn't you know that usually acronyms do not count the non-essential words? So
Whip
thank you for
it
that.
Out. So WW.
It is not an essential word.
Yeah. So words like it, da, and
A.
for.
That's with. There's certain words, like even in a title, you don't capitalize them for that reason, unless it's essential to the title. So thank you for
Whip it out.
Louisiana
Where's the last
education.
W? Where's the last
It's
W?
Whip It Out Wednesday.
Whip
right?
it
Wednesday.
out Wednesday, dingbat.
Wow.
Out was the
There's your
real,
W.
the essential
Okay.
word. Wednesday was essential. Whip was.
All I heard you say was whip it out. It's like, well, wait a freaking minute. WOW does not say whip it out.
You know what? Honestly, Rebel, I had the same kind of thought at one point. I was like, that doesn't work. And I was like, oh, it's Whip Out Wednesday.
I started it off with, I thought what the fuck Wednesday
Yeah,
was
but there
bad
was-
enough, but Whip It Out Wednesday
There's
is
a lot
worse.
going on.
Well, pay attention. Jeez. Like if Canada and Louisiana joined forces, it wouldn't really accomplish
Wow.
anything.
It'd be a good life, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch
Certainly
of
would be tasty.
It would
Here-
be tasty.
here's what I would predict that combo would be. A bunch of people sitting around freezing their maple syrup with their beads on, drinking alcohol.
You know, there's this
Maple
actually
alcohol.
this
I like it.
this recipe that's really good for when you're camping. You make it on the cast iron, like over a fire, and it involves maple syrup and some spicy Cajun. Like it's like a scramble hash brown. It's really good. The spicy with the sweet
Sweet heat. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's
Lots of
another
beads.
trivia question.
And the beads, of course.
What commercial is she referring to right now?
What commercial is she referring to right now?
Yeah, well, she doesn't know she's referring to it. But first they're sour, then they're sweet.
Sour Patch Kids.
There
Sour
it
Patch
is.
Kid.
Ding, ding, ding,
Nice.
ding, ding. Okay. And I said something on yesterday's show that refers to a candy as well and a commercial. Can either one of you remember what that was?
He expects us to commit so much to memory. Okay, the hard drive is
Well, it
full.
was just
Sorry.
yesterday.
I know, but no.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a
I
hint.
couldn't even remember Whip It Out Wednesday. Okay, come on.
It has to do with rainbows.
Skittles.
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 There it is. And I was going to say Skittles yesterday, and then I forgot, so I decided to say it today.
Oh.
I just remembered right
Once
this
when I was a
second.
kid, I experimented, put a Skittle up my nose, and it got stuck.
Oh, yeah, my son put pasta up his nose.
Yeah.
Okay, I
But
have
it's
to
better
ask,
than
did it
putting
change your nose
a
colors?
hot dog up your hoo-ha and it getting stuck. You know how much that happens in
A hot
hospitals?
dog getting stuck.
Does that happen in Chinese medicine? Because in the American hospitals,
For sure.
what they find in vajayjays is absolute, and buttholes is absolutely amazing. Like the
Especially
things
that second part.
yeah, the
Serving
things people would
That's
put
always
up.
the show.
There was
And, like-
one case of this guy that went to the ER with a 5-pound dumbbell stuck up there.
Oh, I heard.
Oh
I heard.
my
About, I think
God.
I maybe heard about
How
that.
about
And he went for an MRI, and it like.
How about somebody, a nurse I know told me about somebody came in because they put down like a plunger in the shower and like suctioned it down, and then the dude sat on it. Yeah.
Talk about having a stick up your.
Yeah, look at that face. Look at that face. Rebels like, oh my Lord. Okay.
Why
So-
would
Hold
you
on.
do
I
that?
need to, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is going to be like way out there, but I need to know: was it a wooden stick or one of those plastic ones?
No, it was the wooden one.
Oh God!
Splinter
God,
heaven.
splinters?
Splinter heaven.
No.
Okay.
You'd have
So,
to protect.
We haven't
it.
even talked about yet what we're supposed to talk about today, but we will in a couple minutes. First,
No, we won't.
yeah, we will. We have to because I
Okay.
said so. And
We never get to it. He'll ask, and we'll talk about it next week or tomorrow.
no, I do get to it, but not when you want it gotten to. Okay, so seriously though, I keep them waiting.
I'm
no,
still waiting to find out how you accidentally have sex, and you never did finish that story.
You didn't. I didn't.
We did explain
say I
it. He
was
tripped
telling
and
the
fell.
story.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell that story?
I do. I want to
bet
know
you
how
do.
you accidentally have sex.
I did tell the story. Juan,
But you
didn't I tell that one
explain-
time?
No,
Sure did.
we talked
Yeah,
about
see?
slipping on a banana peel and this, that, and the other. It did.
Juan, can you
didn't
tell the
actually-
story to prove that I told it?
He tripped and fell.
Yep, see?
See,
It had to do with Chad.
It
Rebel.
happens.
It had to
I
do
know.
with Chad.
I understand what
yeah,
you said.
so
happened.
I told the story.
How about
so
this?
Shut up. I'll tell it again. But first, now you threw me off where we're going with this this whole
Here,
hoo-ha thing. Okay?
Rebel, look at the scroll.
Hold on.
Right.
check out past episodes. Yeah.
I love
Nice.
that. That's great. Okay. So, okay. Here's the thing. I have a question for Nicole and Rebel. And
Uh-oh.
I'm very curious of their answer. Be very truthful. If you had the chance, would you do Richard Gere? Nicole first.
I don't know if we were feeling vibing, you know,
Okay. Rebel.
if there was chemistry.
Okay. So,
If
Juan,
we
do you
could
have
be
any idea
protected.
where I went with this? That they both said yes?
No,
Richard
but it
Gere
sounds
is the
like
one-
they're eager to grind his gears.
Yeah, so Richard Gere is the one famous for the gerbil in the butt trick. So you would have
Okay.
sex with somebody that put gerbils up their butt for
I mean,
pleasure?
it's all
As long
hypothetical.
as it wasn't happening at the time
Yeah.
we were doing it. I mean,
It's not hypothetical. Google it.
No, but I mean this whole situation of would you? I don't know, because
No,
you know,
no.
you know,
Now you're trying to backpedal.
no.
Okay.
But I mean, if
She's trying to backpedal just like the gerbils.
Exactly.
Ugh.
That was a thing for a while.
There's
That's-
probably a
did
lot
you
of
know
past
that,
stuff
Juan?
that
was
like
a thing
isn't
for a while.
out there. You know, people have
No,
have
what you do
histories
is okay.
and I think if
he
like
even gave instructions parody. You know, he took a tube and stuck that up
Yeah.
the butthole, and then you put people do this, and
Well,
they
yeah,
take a
people have these
gerbil and they
practicing
put
it
it
safely,
in the
you know?
tube so it can climb up and get
Oh, boy.
in the butthole.
yeah,
And then what they like about it is the scratching going up the butthole. What do you think?
if
You
you're in a
think, Juan?
tube, how does it touch you? I mean,
What do you think those No, it uses the tube to get in. It's like an entry point. What do you think about previous generations after me telling you that, Juan?
What do I think about it in general, or
About generations before you.
Thank God we
what,
didn't have cell
what
phones.
people were like and why your generation has
like
to
no
be
one's
the way
doing
it
that
is.
now.
here's what I'm gonna say.
No,
My generation
those
grew
are
up
crabs
to
now.
my generation grew up to the video of 2 girls, 1 cup. So
oh, come
Oh,
on.
that's true. And you have the Haktua girl too. Okay.
she's another generation.
Yeah,
she's not from
further
she's not
down
from
the
ours.
pole. Okay. So-
Oh, my
So
God.
every generation has its debauchery is what we're coming down to here.
Mm.
There was actually another video that wasn't as popular, but it was definitely around the time after 2 girls, 1 cup. It was 2 guys, 1 screwdriver.
That sounds hot.
It wasn't.
Oh, you tried it.
No, I watched it. It got banned so fast. Like it got taken down from the whole internet so fast.
So on the Jimmy Star show, we have had a few
God.
times the person, the producer and I think writer and stuff for the Human Centipede. Now, have any of you watched all versions of the Human Centipede?
No.
No.
way.
I seen one. I was
Well-
done.
Well, one that you haven't seen, the reason being is because it's banned. Okay. We should have a show one time where I do trivia questions just for one and use things that happen and that don't exist anymore or terms we used to say that don't exist anymore and see if he knows them. Okay. So anyway, do you know about, you didn't watch any of the, do you know about the Human Centipede movie?
I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, the sequel was banned because it was so grotesque and so bad they couldn't even rate it. Okay, it was.
Oh,
so
I'm sure you can get it on bootleg.
what? Oh yes, I have
You
it.
don't want
I have it. I'll loan it
Oh
to you
my
if you
God.
want. Okay, so the
Deal.
human Centipede
God.
1. Okay, just to paint it to you is this mad doctor. Because this is what
you always
happens.
wanted to be the first one on the centipede.
Yeah,
Just
or
saying.
yeah, that's true.
First. The first.
And okay, see, but this is how doctors do, figure out stuff. I've been watching a lot of these like serial killer type of things lately because I'm
Getting
doing
tips?
I'm doing research for sure. And so basically there was this doctor, true story, that was performing surgeries on people to fix their windpipe. He was doing like, but what he was doing is he was doing this scientific research on these humans, no rats, no nothing, just started on the humans, but didn't tell anybody, you know. And he was like this renowned surgeon that was putting these plastic windpipes in them. But the plastic windpipes were supposed to be filled with stem cells, but they weren't. It was a lie. And so basically they all died because he put this plastic thing in them, windpipe. So Human Centipede is also a doctor. And what he does is, you know, foot and mouth disease one. Well, this has to do with putting things up your butt. So like he would connect humans mouth to butt and sew it together. And so in the first movie, there were only a few of them. I don't even remember. Was it 5 or 6 rebels, something
3.
like that? Okay, it was only 3. Okay. And so what would happen is he would feed this thing.
The first person.
To the well, you can only feed it to the first person. Okay. And they would eat it. And then, you know, the food would cycle out, digest to feed the second one. And then that would go through and digest to feed the third one. And then third one would poop it out. And
what did it look like after the third one?
That's not really what people were looking at if they could even stomach looking at it.
Okay. So
well,
now,
you can't see anything because it's all happening internally, right?
But you have to know what happens in
the only thing you can see is what happens after it comes out the last one.
Yeah, but you know, and sometimes
you saw the reactions when it was
sometimes the
coming
people
through.
die, you know, and things like that. He had a lot of mistakes he had to fix. So finally, for like the last sequel, this one is the one that's banned. It was so disturbing that literally there were like 4 times I paused the film to get composure. I didn't stop watching it. I just
compose yourself.
I just took a few minutes off, but I was so disturbed I like couldn't watch it anymore. So
what's more disturbing that you got through the whole thing or you just paused through it?
And there were like, I think there were like 17 of them connected together.
Was this on DVD that you watched it, or?
Yes, I have.
So you took like, you basically
Jimmy
took
Star Jimmy Star, and he's in Florida right now, by the way. Jimmy and Ron are in Florida right now, but Jimmy Star made a copy for me. You know, because I hadn't seen it because it was banned. Like it was so bad, it was banned. Okay,
you basically took a voluntary commercial break without the commercials.
Intermission.
Listen. 30 seconds in, I took a commercial break without commercials. That's how bad it was. 30 seconds in, I was like,
yikes.
I mean, I have serious trauma from it. So now I'm studying.
So it's not scary. It's just disgusting.
Yes.
It's disturbing. It's more than disgusting. It's like so disturbing. Like he makes them walk around like a centipede.
Crawl around. They can't walk.
Yeah, because what he does is he slices the, you know, the muscle at the kneecap, so they can't walk anymore. Like they're on their knees. You know, they're like on all fours, kind of like, you know, rimming with Tootsie Rolls.
Do they still have their full arms?
Yes. They have arms.
Rebel,
Okay.
Rebel, I think you're the only
gosh.
one that didn't even know what I was talking about there.
No, I got disgusted. I just kind of ignored you with the whole Tootsie Roll.
Do you know what rimming is?
That would be going around the anal cavity with a Tootsie Roll.
Like, it's kind of like what you would do to a female, except you're doing it to a butthole.
Well, I was thinking more like when you put salt around the rim on the drink.
Yeah, I'm on that wavelength.
Well, that comes from
here in Margaritaville.
That's what we're all gonna need after this conversation.
That comes from bleaching the butthole. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So now let's get serious for a moment here.
Is it possible after that?
I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't even know if even I can save this show.
I'm
at this point.
traumatized. I'm traumatized.
I don't even know if I can save this show at this point. I had no plans of any of this happening.
Should we just
Okay?
cut to the video that we were supposed to play a while back before this conversation?
Maybe
Yeah,
that'll
well,
reel us in with that intermission.
Yeah, let's play that video. Roll the video. Put us in a different well. Okay, keep going. We're gonna get it off. Get it to the part because we're gonna get zapped.
Which part did you want to see?
Where the bus and then it blows up. So don't even play the music at this point. Just let it. The visual take.
So this is towards the end. Okay.
Right there.
What do we have here?
She was on top, jumped off. Look at that special effects, Juan. The special effects of the 80s, man.
Just
the beginning of MTV and videos. And that's the name of the song, The Damned.
Watch what
okay, so that wasn't
that
wasn't special effects.
We were talking about hot dogs up the hoo-ha, and then what they show, hot dogs.
That was supposed to reel you back in. Get on track. And you didn't. You just going for
But
hard.
it shows that they're listening to everything you say.
I mean, like, really? Okay. So, okay.
I
have to ask a question before we go on to the next part. Okay. Hey, Alexa.
Oh, jeez.
Have you ever had a hot dog stuck up your hoo-ha?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
So if I have a hot dog stuck up my hoo-ha, Alexa cannot help me.
Well, Alexa doesn't know if you have a hoo-ha.
Alexa, do I have a hoo-ha?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
She's learning.
Oh, well, no. You
quite
want to know
sure.
what she's learning? This is what she learned.
Not to answer
Hey,
you.
Alexa, you want to have sex? That's the sound she makes when she doesn't like what I have to say. Did you hear it? It goes like, boom.
She's
Okay.
rolling her eyes out.
Maybe that's her version of moaning.
So let's
No,
go
that's
back
her
to before I
eyes will
started the
laugh.
show so I can get back in a different mode. And I was like pulling my suitcase out of the closet, pulling a backpack out of the closet. Why was I doing that, Rebel?
Oh, because you're going places like
Travel.
NAB.
The next, well, not yet. Okay. You're backwards a little bit. Okay. But yeah,
I
the
just movement.
next leg and where we start getting really busy on the Pipeman Radio Tour is starting on Monday. So, okay, why'd I have to break out a suitcase? Usually I don't need a suitcase. I just need a carry-on because listen, if I'm doing a festival, then I just need t-shirts and shorts, except when I do stuff like download where I have to bring winter and summer clothes during June, which is kind of weird. Okay. But I'm going to be wearing suits, so I can't fit them in a carry-on bag or a backpack, which kind of sucks because now I have to break out the suitcase. So I was in there this morning picking out the dress shoes that I'm going to wear and the belts I'm going to wear and the ties and the suits. And like living in Florida, I don't get that much of an opportunity. I used to wear suits to meetings at the chamber and stuff here, and fucking people are assholes. Like every time I was wearing a suit, people were like, "Oh, are you going to a funeral?" Because they live in Florida and lawyers think they should walk around in flip-flops. I remember when I first got to Florida, and I was in the financial business, and it was a time where I wore suits every day, and I went into this financial firm to train their brokers. And when I walk in, the dude's like, "Why are you so dressed up?" I'm like, "Because it's a financial firm." And then I walk into the pit area and like all these brokers that are handling your millions of dollars, like are in shorts and flip-flops. And I'm not down with that anyway.
Yeah, I think my generation changed that.
Yeah, totally. Like, you know why I'm not down with it? because now, okay, so that we used to do a lot of theater shows down here and broadcast live. And I was absolutely flabbergasted how people dressed for the theater. Because in New York, you had to get dressed up and you were dressed in nines to go to the theater. And now again, it must be your generation influence that too, because people are going to Broadway. I remember I was going to a restaurant called the Russian Tea Room. And I left my office. I was like 21 years old, left my office, was wearing an Armani suit, but I left my jacket in the in the office. And I took the train into the city, and I was meeting up with my bro and his parents at the Russian Tea Room. And I walk in, and they're like, "Sir, you can't come in like that." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't come in like that?" I didn't even think about it. I didn't have a suit jacket on. I had my tie on. And I'm like thinking to myself, my tie alone probably costs more than the jackets that they have there. And what I mean by that is the restaurants would have jackets there for people like me. So they had this polyester forest green jacket up there. My socks cost more than that. Like I used to buy Armani socks that cost more than that. I'm like, really? You think that's better than me? It's not even going to match anything I'm wearing. It's freaking polyester. I don't wear polyester. Like, I'm not buying my suit from Sears. Okay. And it was the ugliest green ever, but they forced me to wear that if I wanted to stay at the restaurant. Like, and like Broadway, you can't walk in without a jacket and a tie. So yeah, your generation made it to where we could just all be slobs wherever we want to be.
Yeah, people wear like shorts and flip flops to the court now.
That's ridiculous.
allow you
Have
to
low
do that?
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would not
No,
be allowed
no.
to do that. You have to have some respect in some places, I think. I
can't-
don't know.
Can't
But
go
on the other
flip-flops
hand,
in our
I'm kind of
court.
thankful for your generation because now I wear shorts and a t-shirt all the time. It took a while though. I actually, it was an evolution through this radio station. When I first started the radio station, I was wearing suits every day. And it's hot here in Florida. So then I used to be the type when I wore a suit every day. I always wore the jacket, like because I think that makes the look. Okay. And so I started by taking the jacket off. And then I took the tie off and unbuttoned the shirt a little bit. And then
I
yeah, but this was over years.
I feel like we need some music for these. Hold on.
Yeah, this was the longest strip show ever in history.
Years.
And so there he goes. I better wait for him because he's figuring out.
So
which
I love
one
Pipe Man that you get to actually pack suits in your suitcase.
right? That
No?
nobody ever thinks of that. That's the only reason I use a suitcase is for when I need
Well,
suits.
suits only.
So,
Yeah.
so why do you? Here's a question then. Why do they sell garment bags for suits when you have suitcases?
Because you don't want them
I mean, there's
wrinkled.
separate
It's the
things.
same reason Rebel. It's the same reason you don't park and drive. You park in driveways and drive on parkways. It's just some idiot was stoned way back when they came up with this shit. Yeah, we'll call it a parkway, man, because you can't really park here. It was like Cheech and Chong came up with it or something like that, But so then, like, I'd be wearing the white undershirt only because I was hot, taking out, like, because you wear a shirt under your shirt. That's why it's called an undershirt.
I
And,
think Mormons do that.
well, you
on a
do it
regular.
when you wear a
Okay.
suit. Yeah,
Special,
you do.
special underwear.
It's underwear. Why? Because you wear it under your pants.
Wow, there's a lot of layers in Florida.
So
Anyways, go
no,
on.
there were no layers in Florida. That was the problem. I had to get rid of them all. And so then it turned into I was wearing jeans because I couldn't go shorts because that would look too. So I went to jeans and like a nice shirt. And then I went to, you can see there's a video on the website of me doing something on NBC. I think it was NBC or CBS News here. And I'm dressed. I don't have the jacket on, but I got the tie on. And I actually had like a pinkish shirt on in that one, which I still have in my closet. But yeah, so, and then when I got down to shorts and t-shirt, because everybody was dressed like that. And I used to get comments all the time. So finally, I'm going to a chamber meeting. I'm like, fuck, now I got to wear a suit. Or like, I used to go to temple all the time. And now it's like, I have to wear a suit to go to temple. Or now it's like I have this restaurant upstairs in my building that's got really good food and it's convenient. I just get on the elevator and I'm there. But it's not convenient because I have to get dressed up to go to that restaurant. So there's still some of it out there. And not everybody's going to be wearing a suit there either. I just feel like I won't wear a suit every day. And certainly, like, there's a lot of people not wearing suits, but I just feel like if you're going to that kind of business conference, you got to be a suit. Okay. Like, you're not going to a music festival. So what I'm going first one is Podcast Movement Evolutions. They have two events. Podcast Movement, the main one that's in the fall, which I'll be at as well, and Podcast Evolutions, which is this time. The last time I was at Podcast Evolutions, I do have some trauma, by the way. The last time I was there I didn't know I had it, but it was right after I did the Oscars red carpet, and I got COVID before COVID was a thing, January 2020. And I ended up going to this Evolutions because I was there for that too, and I didn't know what I had. I didn't even know I was that sick yet. And so that's the last time I went to that. But Podcast Movement is the biggest, best podcasting conference throughout the world. It's well renowned. Every major company in podcasting will be there. And it's going to be March 31st till April 3rd in Chicago. So I'm also going to probably have to bring bipolar clothes too, because Chicago's weather is bipolar. It could be 70 one day, 20 the next. So I'm going to have to pack that too. Like that's why I need a suitcase. Mm-hmm. So, and then after that, I hop on a plane, going on airplane over to one of my favorite adult playgrounds in the whole world, Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. And so that's the NAB show, which the NAB show is the biggest broadcasting event in the whole world that is so massive. It's for everything, TV, radio, podcasting. You said like it added podcasting. It's changed over the years because of how the landscape has changed. Every major company is there. Let me tell you something. I've been doing events since I'm 11 years old. And most expo events, and I'm sure Rebel could probably tell you, I will hit up the whole place, every vendor, everything. I used to also, when my kids were little, I would bring them to expos and I'd say, hey, go to every booth in here and grab me a business card from there and I'll give you $20 or something like that. And they would go around and do that and it would save me a lot of work. And they loved doing it. They used to ask to do it. And because they're not going to stop them to try to pitch them. So it was easy. They could just go grab. And I said, like, yeah, and all the tables that they have candy, you can grab one there too. Don't grab the whole bowl, only grab one candy, but you can grab one from every table if you want. And so, you want kids to do stuff, bribe them with money and candy. It's easy. And and it teaches them a work ethic right there.
I think
only if they're your children.
What?
Only if they're your children. Do not go bribing other people's children with money and candy.
Yeah. That's a good call. But adults,
is that a problem?
I could be persuaded by candy and money.
How about hot dogs?
No.
Frozen hot dogs?
Only like Polish sausages.
Oh, you prefer Polish sausages? Okay.
Or whatever.
There was a word for Polish people when I was younger that it no longer exists today, and thank God it was a bad word.
Yeah.
So we have come a long way. There are some people we're not making fun of anymore. Like there used to be Polish jokes when we were a kid. Juan, did you know that? when I was a kid, there used to be Polish jokes. You know how you have blonde jokes?
Still have blind jokes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met a Polish person.
Really?
You'll be surprised.
Oh, I met some hot one in, I forget what country I was in. Oh, I think it was in Mexico. And yeah, so she was a little crazy. Just saying. But anyway, so I'm glad we don't make fun of those people anymore.
Let's get back to NAB before we run out of time.
I know we are running out of time. We're already out of time. Okay,
you were saying you were gonna go watch Centipede the musical.
Yes, exactly.
Children getting candy and cards at NAB.
Yeah, and feeding them to the human centipede. So anyway, there is the expo hall for NAB. First of all, NAB takes over the whole Las Vegas Convention Center. And if you've never been there, let me paint a picture for you. The Las Vegas Convention Center there's a bridge. You have to walk over the main street to get to the other side of the convention center. It's two major buildings connected over a main thoroughfare.
That's what the chicken said when he crossed
exactly. So like, let's put it this way. It's bigger than the mall at Wellington Green, whatever they call that mall.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, when they have events there, it's like this company will have this event, this company will have this event. Like they have multiple events going at one time. Not with NAB. They take the whole place, man. The expo part of it, forget anything else. The expo has every company you could imagine in there. Google is there. Microsoft is there. Spotify is there. iHeart is there. Apple is there. And they have huge booths. They're not just this little presence. Like they take over like a whole room. Some of the stuff you see, like Juan, I know if you went, you'd be like a kid in a candy store because some of the equipment stuff they have there. Like last time I was there, I went to see a presentation because as press, they invite me to all these things to see 8K before 4K was even a thing. Like they already had 8K, and that was freaking amazing. And I ended up on like some huge TV screen in the expo. I have a picture of it. It looked kind of cool. But me, who never, I go to these major festivals, I don't get overwhelmed. This thing overwhelms me. Like I can't even finish the whole thing. Like it's like so big. And I try to hit, whenever I go to an expo, I try to hit every booth there is. And I think it's virtually almost impossible at NAB. But they have everybody representative there, a whole load of speakers, great keynotes. 1 year I was there, I had it came off, but I had a wristband that was given to me by Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. There's huge names that go there. And do keynote speeches, and it's just it takes over the whole strip of Las Vegas, basically. So it's a really cool conference. And the best part about it, and then we have to go, is that, so this is why it's so important. I'm going to be doing press coverage there, but I'm also there looking at everything that's new and great and better than before. And most of the technology we use now, I got from these conferences type of thing after, I'm incessant about researching it all. And I have actually some changes I want to implement in 2025 that I literally am waiting till the next couple weeks to determine what they're going to be because of they're going to announce stuff there. It's going to be the newest and the greatest. They're giving an award to one of the most famous radio personalities, Delilah, at the event. So it's going to be a couple weeks of things that are going to make us blow up and evolve even more. So stay tuned. We're going to report about that stuff when I get back. And then I'm going to report about all the cool stuff. And you can tune in and listen to the Adventures of Pipeman, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Motivational Monday, Tuesday, Travel Tuesday, Wednesday,
What the fuck Wednesday?
What the fuck Wednesdays? There might even come up a time where there's
Wow.
a thirsty Thursday or something. No, but
Yeah.
seriously, we gotta go, but we got a lot more coming. Make sure to tune in tomorrow to What the Fuck Wednesday, because it's not really a what the fuck. It's more like we have a very, very special interview for you from one of the bands that I just interviewed recently, and you're gonna want to check it out. Great interview. Tune in. And we got somebody here too talking about Louder Than Life. And yes, we are giving tickets away. Again, reach out to me on socials at Pipeman Radio. We're giving out festival tickets to Louder Than Life, Aftershock, Bourbon and Beyond, and more. So check us out. Keep following us. And thanks for listening. And we will see you tomorrow. Roll it, Juan.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.